It started with anger, an unresolved conflict that lingered like a shadow. At first, it seemed like nothing more than harsh words exchanged, pride wounded, and a grudge silently carried. But over time, that resentment grew darker, and what began as a feud would spiral into a plan for revenge, one that ended not in satisfaction, but in tragedy. This is a chilling story of how vengeance, once unleashed, destroyed not only its target, but also the one who sought it. The two men at the center of this story were once friends. They laughed together, worked together, and shared trust. But a betrayal, small to outsiders, devastating to them, drove a wedge so deep that reconciliation became impossible. One walked away, but the other couldn't let it go. Resentment festered. What started as angry thoughts became late-night obsessions. He began to imagine scenarios where he could get even, where he could make his former friend pay. Friends noticed the bitterness in his voice, the way his tone hardened whenever the man's name was mentioned. But they dismissed it as venting, never realizing they were listening to the early stages of something deadly. Soon, the plan took shape. He began to track his rival's routine, studying where he went, who he met, and when he was most vulnerable. Every detail fed into a strategy that he convinced himself would finally bring peace. But vengeance has a way of clouding judgment, turning even the simplest decisions into reckless mistakes. The night it happened was quiet, almost unnervingly so. He followed his former friend home, waiting in the shadows until the moment felt right. In his mind, this was justice, his way of reclaiming dignity that he believed had been stolen from him. But justice warped by anger is never truly justice. It's destruction. When the attack came, it was swift, brutal, and final. The man he once called a friend lay lifeless, and for a brief moment, the avenger felt triumphant. But triumph turned quickly to dread. The sound of his own heartbeat was louder than the silence in the room. The reality of what he'd done was inescapable. Investigators pieced the story together with ease. Witnesses had seen the two arguing days before. Surveillance cameras captured his movements, and his obsession, revealed in text messages and journal entries, painted a picture of a man consumed by hatred. The revenge he believed would set him free instead sealed his fate. In court, the truth was undeniable. What could have ended with forgiveness, or at the very least indifference, had instead become a tragedy fueled by pride and anger. He was sentenced not only to years behind bars, but to a lifetime of carrying the weight of his crime. This story is more than just a crime. It's a lesson written in the harshest way possible, that revenge never heals wounds. It only creates new ones. Unresolved conflict can poison even the strongest of bonds, turning friendship into rivalry, and rivalry into something far darker. The case of a grudge turned deadly reminds us of a simple truth. Letting go is not weakness, it's survival. Because once revenge takes hold, it rarely stops until everything is lost. Revenge may feel